without any further ado, I'm going to take you on a little trip to the Keys. And for some of you who are not familiar with our destination, we actually located at the tip of the state of Florida. We are all this chain of island, which is about 175 kilometers, and it's connected by actually 42 bridges. So you can actually drive all the way from Key Largo all the way down to Key West. Key Largo, which is our first island, we are actually about an hour drive from Miami International Airport, and you can also fly directly from Canada to Fort Lauderdale and of course Miami. So most of our visitor, what they will do, it's fly to one of those two airports, rent a car, and then drive leisurely down to the Keys, spending a few days in the Upper Keys, and then a few days down in Key West. There is also other possibility to go in the Keys if you are spending any time anywhere in the U.S. We also have an airport in Key West, which just got refurbished. It's actually all new, completely renovated. We have a lot of different airlines who goes there. And for example, if you just want to leave the cold and the snow this winter for just a quick weekend getaway and go straight to Key West, that's a possibility. And while in Key West, you don't need a car, so super easy to get to. And another option as well, if you happen to spend some time on the west coast of Florida, anywhere from Naples to Tampa, we do have a boat ferry from Fort Myers, who's actually leave Fort Myers every day at 9 o'clock in the morning, get to Key West about 12:30. It's not a car ferry, but once again, Key West do not need a car. And then we'll go back to Fort Myers, leaving Key West at about 6 o'clock in the evening, getting back to Fort Myers about 9:30. Most of our visitors, of course, don't do that during the day because you will only be in Key West for only a few hours, and then you're not going to have a chance to enjoy the island. So they will stay for a few days and then take a ferry back. So we're going to start with our first region of the Keys, which is Key Largo. And Key Largo is at the top of the Florida Keys, so right an hour drive from Miami International Airport, like I mentioned. And it's the longest of his island. And Key Largo is actually very famous for its diving. So we are actually the capital, the dive capital of the world. And as you will see we have the coral reef, who goes all the way along the Keys. So it's a beautiful place. We have a lot of fish, a lot of dolphins and sea turtles, all kinds of fauna, flora, all kinds of coral. So great place to see. If you're not a diver, you also have a possibility to do snorkeling because it's actually not very deep. So even when you snorkel, you actually see quite well the coral reef also. One of the main attractions in Key Largo will be John Pennekamp State Park, where you can do the diving excursion and the snorkeling excursion. But there is also a glass bottom boat. So if some of your clients are a little bit older, or if it's family with young children, or if even they just don't feel comfortable swimming on the reef, you can actually take those glass bottom boats and see the reef same way. It's a fantastic experience. I've done it several times with my children, and you can see everything. So it's a fantastic place. John Pennekamp, you can also rent a lot of kayaks, some paddleboard. There's a beautiful little beach. There is some trails. So you can spend something few hours, a whole day. So a lot of things to do. Key Largo being at the north of the Keys, you're actually also very close to one of our national parks. We actually have two national parks in the Keys, and the first one to the north will be the Everglades National Park. Fantastic place to go. You can, same thing, do a lot of excursion on kayaks. You can rent, same thing, you can do fishing. We have also some houseboats. Of course, you can walk the park. You will see a lot of crocodiles, a lot of alligators. The entrance of the park is usually $35. I just mentioned that because we also have a yearly pass in the US called America the Beautiful. And for actually $80, you get to see every single national parks within the United States. So it's actually quite worth it if you decide to come to the US several times to actually get that pass, because that's good for a full year. If not, the entrance, like I said, of the Everglades is about $35, and that's good for 7 days. Moving along, another great attraction in the Keys will be the African Queen, and that's actually, if you're familiar with movies, that was a very old movie with Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall, and this is the actual original boat who was used in the movie. So you can do tours in Key Largo on the different little canals. So it's super fun. You don't take that many people, so make sure you make your reservation, and they will take you to one of the restaurants, and you can, have a drink or so, and then they will take you back on the African Queen back to the dock. So a great little excursion to do as well. Moving along down, it will be Islamorada. So that's our second island. And Islamorada is very famous for its fishing. We actually are the sport fishing capital of the world. We detain all the world record. So we have different kind of fishing, because on one side we have the Atlantic Ocean, on the other side we have the Florida Bay. So for the sport fishing, that is actually done on the ocean side. And for that, you will be catching, for example, tunas, mahi, which is actually the fish that you see on the pictures. And this actually has also another name. It's called also a dolphin. So when you go to a restaurant and on the menu you see the dolphin, this is what you're going to get. You're not going to get flippers, so not to worry about it. We also do a lot of catch and release. So there will be marlin, sailfish, all kind of different big game fish like that. Now, if this is a little bit too hardcore for you, you can go on the Florida Bay and you can do some backcountry fishing, which is actually done with those small flats boats. You will have you captain, as you see, and they will take you to places very often close to the Everglades, where it's very, very shallow, and a lot of time there will be no engine, so you will be pushing on that big pole that you see right there. And same thing, you will be able to catch some snappers, some redfish, and you can also do some game fishing with the tarpons, which are huge fish that it's usually catch and release, and they will give you a good fight. So it's really fun. And no matter what you can bring back, all the captains in the Keys will fillet the fish for you. They will prepare it, and then you can actually take it to every single most of all the hotels and the restaurant, and they will cook your catch for you. Usually they do 2 or 3 different ways. So after a great day of fishing, you're actually able to eat what you caught. So to me, that's really a plus plus. Another great thing about Islamorada, this is where we have a lot of arts and galleries. So if you're into the art scene, definitely check out all the galleries, all the different shops. There is all kinds of different arts. We can also ship them to you back to your home. That's another possibility. So definitely something to look forward to. And when it comes to the different accommodation in the Keys, we have pretty much everything for every different budget. So we do have some of the big resorts. We have all the main brands, from Hilton to Marriott to Holiday Inn to Courtyard to Hyatt. But we also have beautiful little beachfront, smaller resorts and little boutique hotels. We also have bed and breakfast. We also have some great camping. So no matter what you decide to do, you will always find somewhere to stay, and that's usually related to your budget. One of the great other place, which is very famous in Islamorada, it's called Robbie's Marina. And this is a really little funky place. So they do have a great restaurant right there on the water where you can have breakfast, lunch, or dinner. But they also have different activities. One of them is actually feeding the tarpons, which is really, really fun. So you actually buy a little bucket of little fish, and you go on the dock right there and you feed those giant tarpon, who some of them are like 2-3 meters long. And they fight with the pelicans, because now there is also a lot of pelicans, because they did realize that the fish were getting fed. So they're like, well, why not us neither? So it's quite a funny scene to experience. At Robbie's, you also can do some kayak tours. which are guided or non-guided, depending. You can rent a kayak as well. You can do paddle boards. You can do the jet skis. They have eco tours on boat. They also have a party fishing boats. So all kinds of different excursions. So same thing, a few hours or a full day, and you will never be bored. By the end, close to the parking, you will have a nice little market where you can buy all kinds of local art, and there is all kinds of souvenirs to take home. Now, I went a little too fast. Now we're moving down to Marathon, and Marathon is our third district, and it's actually in the heart of the Florida Keys. So basically, excuse me, you're really in the middle of the Florida Keys. So you're basically an hour, no, an hour south of Key Largo, an hour north of Key West. So if you want to stay on only one location, excuse me, and enjoy the entire destination, you can definitely stay in Marathon and go either way. So it's a very, very easy way to get to Key Largo or to Key West. Marathon is also very family oriented. It's also famous for our 7 Mile Bridge, which is about 11 kilometers. Beautiful, beautiful bridge, gorgeous drive. A lot of people will, for example, a lot of time rent a convertible to drive down all the way to Key West. One thing that I want to mention, make sure you use your sunscreen, because by the time you get to Key West, you might get a little bit of a sunburn. So please take care of yourself if you decide to go that way. So when you refurbished, excuse me, who actually Key and Pigeon Key is the little island where the first settler used to actually build the railway, because before it became a highway, it was a railway was taking all from Miami all the way down to Key West. Then we had a hurricane back in the late 20s, and the railway was really damaged. And with the modernization and the arrival of the cars, instead of rebuilding the railway, they decided to make it a highway, which is here up to nowadays. It seems like I'm losing connection.
We can still hear you, Sabine.
Sabine, can you hear us? Jerry, you may need to continue for Sabine. I don't think she can hear us. I think
No problem. No problem. You know, I just messaged her, but Paige, you can hear me. Thank you so much for that.
Perfect.
Okay. So we left off at the Turtle Hospital, and the Turtle Hospital is one of the only turtle hospitals in the continental United States and North America that is dedicated to the rehabilitation and release of injured sea turtles. It's quite an interesting hospital, and it's a great tour. I like to call it adventure, educational adventure for families, for couples, to also give back, because we like to go to destinations, but we don't want to just take away from it. We want to learn how to save it for future generations to enjoy. So the best part about it, the funny part, is they have an ambulance, a turtle ambulance. So that's always fun to see when you're there. There's a Dolphin Research Center, which is big in the Florida Keys. Now, we know that not all guests feel comfortable with this, because they feel about the dolphins in captivity. But the key thing is that they learn about education, how to communicate with them. And they have families learn to respect the dolphins, not necessarily keep them captive and trained, but just to learn about the education about how to communicate with them. And again, they're in a safe space with lots of water. So this is not for everybody, but something we wanted to share. Next one here, the Florida Keys Aquarium Encounters. Again, another educational center. They actually have different fish species that are indigenous to the Florida Keys, but also they showcase some that are invasive, like the lionfish. Many of you may not be aware, but lionfish was a big problem in Florida for a while. The population has been culled, which is great, but they help educate about how they got here, how to prevent during doing certain things with fish so they don't become an invasive species. And they have fun educational things where you could actually swim with fish. In this photo, you can see you could put on a wetsuit and jump in and feed the fish and swim with them. So there's a lot of aquarium encounters, hence the name. A number of family resorts. This is a big thing, not just for couples, even singles or groups, but for families. A number of them will have special pools even where it's a family pool, but there's also adult pools, just so that the parents can enjoy themselves and couples that may not want to be around kids during this kind of vacation. But the idea is that there's a multitude there within Marathon, because Marathon is considered the family part of the Florida Keys, there's a number of family resorts in that area, which just happens to be right in the middle Keys between Key Largo and Key West. And by the way, I do want to just add that some of the hotels actually have done giveaways for our prizes today, and some of them have, of course, travel agent incentives and programs. So that's very important to keep in mind. Now, the next one is Big Pine Key. This is the eco portion of the Florida Keys. You can tell by the green spots here. And what's very important about the Big Pine is that we have Bahia Honda Park, which has been recognized as one of the best beaches as well, I should say, not just park, but just one of the best beaches that people like to go to. And hold on one second. What makes it also unique here is that we have a lot of indigenous species. The great white heron. We actually have a national wildlife refuge here in Big Pine. And we also have protected mangroves, which you can actually go kayaking through. So it's quite exciting. I mean, it could be low-key adventurous and more adventurous depending on what you want to do. But it's something for people to learn and go through the different parts of Big Pine. And I have to say that one of my favorite parts is there's actually the key deer, believe it or not. What's a key deer, some people ask? Imagine a deer that's no taller than a large dog. And they're indigenous to the Florida Keys. So you'll find them only in Big Key because that's where a lot of the greenery and the flora and the fauna is for them to survive. So it's an exciting little trip there when you go to the mangroves to have something like this with the key deer. It's actually quite fun. And oh my gosh, Christelle just mentioned No Name Pub. Yes, there's a very popular No Name Pub. They say if you could find it, you're here. And they have great food. They have great Key West shrimp pizza. So it's very exciting and tasty. And of course, it's great for Sunday picnics in the area. I mean, long weekends here is just a fun place to be. And I could tell you that I've been there before where you could do boat tours and go on a lot of sandbars and have your little picnic on the water, so to speak. Again, for those that love RVing, because we know there's a component that like to drive. There's an RV park, I want to say, here in Big Pine Key and the Lower Keys, which is important because, again, for those that want to do the drive, you have this as an option. So keep that in mind. There's also private island retreats. Yes, they have a lot of dockside hotels and resorts. So that is great for people that want to do a nice little fly-in for that or like yachting. Yachting's a big thing, of course. People like to travel by different forms. So again, this is something for just you to keep in mind about the diversity of how to get within the Florida Keys and where to stay. Oh, thank you, Christelle. I appreciate Christelle's comments here, but the drive, they call it the highway to the sea because it's one highway that connects all the keys, so to speak. It's one highway in, a highway out, and they call it the highway to the sea. And you literally end in Key West at mile marker 0, which we'll talk more about later, but it's quite an exciting drive. You definitely want to get a top down for those sunny days. Now we get to Key West, which is the quirky, fun, the abundant Key West that everyone's familiar with. You know, the tagline, close to perfect, far from normal, is so interesting because they like to say that it's one family, one human family. Everyone's invited to the Keys. It doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, you are welcome. So the big thing is that this is a little map of Key West. You could tell all these roads and all the ways to go around. Despite the look of this, it's small. There's a lot going on there. The hotels, the tours, the attractions. For those of you that have been there, you know Key West. It also has a cruise port, which is very important because as a cruise stop, it's great for people that want to come in for the day, for a day tour, or if you want to stay a few days longer. Within Key West, Sabine had mentioned that you don't necessarily need to drive. I've walked Key West. It's a beautiful walk with frequent stops, but they have alternative modes such as the conch train tours and a few trolley train tours. Those are exciting because they could give you some fun tips about the island and about this Key West that makes it so unique. Like, for example, did you know in Key West that you are closer to Cuba than you are to a Walmart? That's quite exciting for me because it just shows the authenticity and how really you're the southernmost point of the continental U.S. And hey, as Canadians, we love Cuba, so to know that we're that close is exciting. Again, you can rent bikes. It's that form of alternate transportation. You could rent scooters, golf carts, bikes, and you just feel like it's a more natural transportation than just a car. There is parking there, of course, if you do drive from, Key Largo or further up, but it's still a good way to go locally. And the venues. I want to mention this one because this is a polydactyl cat, which polydactyl, if I'm saying it correctly, that's the one that has 6 toes. And for those of you that are familiar with Ernest Hemingway, we have the Ernest Hemingway, his home, and which is now a museum, and they do hundreds of people come every day for tours. It's exciting. But they have something, I think, over 40 cats on property. So I'm sorry if you have an allergy. Please take some medication for that, just in case. There's also a number of things. Truman's Little White House. I mean, Truman, stayed in the Florida Keys. They have a whole street named after him and his own little White House where he stayed during his time in the Keys and in office. And as well, we have other like the Lighthouse and Keeper's Quarters, the Custom House, all in and around Ernest Hemingway's house, which is, again, great to hear the tours. And for those of you, nice little Canadian connection here, Ernest Hemingway actually once wrote for the Toronto Star many, many years ago. There's a lot of history there, definitely. And he was married to, I think it was one of his marriages was to one of the Toronto Star writers. So quite the history there. The sunset sails, my goodness. In Key West, because you're at that southernmost point, you don't really have that much blocking you beyond a few private islands. So the sunsets are magnificent there. They actually have a sunset celebration there every night, rain or shine. And at night on Mallory Square in Key West, they will have performers there. They will have jugglers and high wire acts and people with cats, believe it or not. The Catman is there from time to time. And they will have entertainment there. You can get food, you could get a drink, and you could toast another perfect day in the Florida Keys, which is always fun. The nightlife of the Keys is just, this is where things come alive more at night in the Florida Keys because of the nightlife. The restaurants, the tours, the streets are busy. I mean, Duval Street alone, there's so many bars and restaurants, so many things that it just looks beautiful, and you could sit outside all year round. It's just beautiful. We as Canadians forget that because, we have 6 months of warm weather and the rest is indoor eating. And we don't have that opportunity enough. And it's always exciting here in the Florida Keys. And festivals. There's always a festival, whether it's a sailing regatta, Ernest Hemingway Days. October has Fantasy Fest, which is the equivalent of Key West's version of Mardi Gras. And it's literally come as you are. It's themed. It's 4 or 5 days of just tours, parades, excitement, and attractions. So it's really amazing and fun, I have to tell you. And this is, of course, the Ernest Hemingway Days festival, where they actually have a lookalike contest for the best lookalike of Ernest Hemingway. So you could just tell Ernest Hemingway is ingrained in our culture in the Florida Keys and in Key West. We talked about the views, the sunset views. This continues. There's a number of docks. Some of the hotels have their own private docks and restaurants facing near the sunset. So again, there's something for everyone and something for you to have each day and try something new, so to speak, in Key West.
Jerry, can you hear me?
Yes, Sabine, you are back. Yes.
Oh, I am back.
Okay, Sabine, I love it. You're connected. Listen, I got all the way.
Yes.
I got all the way to the dry
Paris.
Tortugas. Yeah, so now I'm going to let you take it away. You take it away.
So this is our number 2 national park. So like I mentioned, you have the Everglades at the top of the Keys at the north, and when you're south, you have the Dry Tortugas National Park, also called Fort Jefferson. And this is actually an excursion that you can do from Key West, and you have 2 different ways to do it. Either you can do the seaplane or the ferry. If you decide to do the ferry, usually the ferry leaves about 8 o'clock in the morning, Key West. You get served a continental breakfast on board. We get you to the island about 10:30 or so. You get to visit the fort with a park ranger. And then we also give you all your equipment to snorkel around the fort. Beautiful, same thing. You will see all kinds of fish and turtles, and there's a little bit of coral as well. Then at lunchtime, we will be bringing you sandwiches, iced tea, lemonade, and then we'll pick you back up about 3:30 in the afternoon. And you will be back to Key West about 5:30, right on time for sunset celebration, like Jerry mentioned. Either you can do it via a sunset cruise or just on the pier and enjoy a wonderful night and a wonderful day that you've been visiting the Dry Tortugas. So another thing that we are actually quite famous for, of course, it's our seafood and our fish. So everything comes fresh from our water. So we have a lot of lobster. We have also the Key West pink shrimps were excellent. The stone crabs, that's another of our specialties. So stone crabs and lobster have different season, and they're so good. The one thing about the stone crabs a lot of people are not aware of, it's actually very sustainable, because when we catch the crab, we actually only we take only one of the claws, and then we release back the crab to the wild with one claw so he can feed himself and defend himself. And by the next year, the other claw grows back. So it's basically kind of like the same story that the tail of a lizard. So I was always amazed. I had no idea about that. You can also going to eat a lot of snapper, a lot of grouper, the mahi-mahi / dolphin that I mentioned earlier, hawkfish, that's one of my favorite. So all that is available to use through most of the restaurants and the hotel in the Keys. Of course, we cannot finish a meal without talking about our wonderful key lime pie. Yes, this is our famous dessert. Has to be yellow because that's what the key lime is. And it's a little bit tart and a little sweet at sometimes. And no matter where you're going to go in the Keys, everybody is going to make it differently. So you will never have twice the same key lime pie. Some people will make it with meringue. Some other people will decide to do a chocolate graham crust instead of the regular graham crust. We even have key lime pie actually on the stick, and it's covered by dark chocolate. So that's really, really fantastic. And because our key lime pie is so famous, that's how we decided to call our e-learning program. So it's the Key Lime Academy, which is a really good program. So like I said, those presentations are usually, short. We don't have time to visit everything and explain everything. So we do have an e-learning program in French and in English. And I'm going to, on the next slide, I will be giving you all the different, actually, I can probably go there right now, and giving you the different link information for that. And those programs are usually about 30-40 minutes. You just have to log in. You don't have to do it all at once. You can go back and forth. And they're mostly videos, so it really shows you everything we have to offer in the Keys, from Key Largo all the way down to Key West. Another perk of those e-learning program, we also have a gallery of picture, which is free of right. So you're very welcome to use them for your website, to send to your clients and to use the way you want. So this is basically a short little trip to the Keys. We want to thank you so much for joining us. Once again, I sincerely apologize for the technical issue. For some reason, the Wi-Fi here is not that great, but I was able to get back with you, which I'm so happy about it. And with Jerry, if you have any question, we will be very happy to answer them.
Great. Thank you, Sabine, and thank you, Jerry. So if anyone, we'll jump into the Q&A portion. So if anyone has any questions, enter them into the chat, and Sabine and Jerry would love to answer those.
And that, Paige, thank you for that. And Sabine, thank you for this. This is exciting. We love the Florida Keys. You can tell we have a genuine excitement for the Keys. But we're going to have some giveaways as well. So, Paige, I think we'll open the floor for a few minutes for questions, and then we'll give away those prizes. So make sure you remember everything about the Keys that we talked about, because there's going to be some questions based on that.
Right. And I want to say thank you to Crystal for all those wonderful comments that you made about the Keys. Yes, it's a really fun destination. And we sincerely hope that all our Canadian friends are going to come to see us again soon. I'm sure winter is coming.
Yeah. It is. And Sabine, you know what? In the absence of any questions, one thing I want to touch on is, for example, Christelle's comment about there's a golf course. There's a 9-hole golf course in Key West. So those that want to do golf...
There's actually an 18 golf course. No, actually, it's 18. It's a real golf course. Yes, it's right at the entrance of the Key, right before you make the turn at the end of US 1. Yes, and it's completely redone.
Yes, okay, so that's why, because it was redone. But this is exciting. So anyone that wants to do golf, you can do that in the Keys as well.
Yes.
18, Christelle said. Thank you. So this is good. Okay, this is great. Yeah, any questions about the food? But I think, Sabine, you were so crystal clear with everything that we were able to answer, hopefully, any questions.
Now,
there could always be questions.
Thank you for all your help, because you took a little portion of it as well.
That's right. But of course, Sabine's email is accessible here, so you could all email and ask further questions.
My email. And once again, we have 2 websites. We have we actually switching our website to visitfloridakeys.com, but the fla-keys.com still works, so you will be redirected directly to that one. And if not, we also have the French website, which is the fla-keys.fr for our French Canadians. And of course, I'm French, so I'll be happy to answer any question in French as well.
That's good. I love that. Publix has the best key lime pie.
Oh my God, I can't believe she said, Crystal said that.
That's interesting.
Because I completely agree with you. My daughter will only eat the key lime pie from Publix. That's the way she loves it.
That is funny. That is so funny.
Yeah, they do a great job with the key lime pie. Yes. Absolutely.
That's interesting. Yeah. Everyone has a different taste there. A lot of people swear by Blue Heaven. Blue Heaven is one place.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite, because they have the big meringue on the top of it, and I like that.
That's right. Chef Michaels does it.
You get to eat with all the chicken too, so that's kind of fun as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of roosters in Key West as well that you will see. So, oh, that's funny. Yeah, there's a lot of great places. You know what? For those that don't know, Christelle, I don't know if you were with their Midway Cafe. There's Midway Cafe, which is sort of, I'm thinking, between Islamorada and Marathon. They actually have a key lime shake. They put a key lime pie slice with milk and ice in a blender, and they mix it up. And that is like, for your breakfast, that's like the best thing you can have. So good. Yeah,
and like I said, and the key lime pie on the stick, that's not too shabby either.
Yes.
That's
Kermit's. That's Kermit's. Yes, he's a magician, and a lot of other people, not just Kermit, but other people have done that as well.
Yeah, no, they do it all throughout the Keys. Yeah, you can buy them now in different places throughout the Keys as well.
Correct. Okay.
So
Yes,
we
thank you,
can move
Crystal.
on to the prize portion now if we have no
Yes.
questions.
Okay, perfect. So we're gonna have 4 questions, and we're gonna have 4 prize packs, and I'm just gonna pull it up here because the prize was, here we go. The first one we're gonna give away is a stay at 2 amazing destinations, and one of them is gonna be Coconut Bay Harbor Lodge in Key Largo, and that's a 2-night stay, and a second 2-night stay in Key West Historic Inn. So you get a total of 4 nights in the Florida Keys. So the way it's going to work is I'm going to ask a question, and whoever answers it correctly first in the chat, we're going to see based on the time code who's first, they win the prize. Okay? So let's start it off. So for that first prize pack, the question is, if you remember from the presentation, how many bridges are there in the Florida Keys? Let's see if people remembered. No. Yeah, so you have to put it in the chat.
That's it. Lisa.
That's it, Lisa. Lisa got it. Lisa Alkins, congratulations. You have won 4 nights in the Florida Keys. As I said, 2 nights stay at Coconut Bay Harbor Lodge, Key Largo, and 2 nights at Key West Historic Inns. Very exciting. Thank you. Oh, Jason. Oh my gosh, you're all coming in. Jason, you were so close. You were off by 11 seconds. Stay tuned for the next one. Don't worry. That's why we have these codes, so we don't make a mistake, right? Okay, the next one. Thank you, Lisa. I'm glad you're excited, Lisa. Stay tuned for that. Okay, the next one. Sabine talked about this twice, 3 times, 4 times. How many national parks are there in the Florida Keys? And if you know their names as well.
I was trying not to be too obvious in the presentation.
I know, right? That's okay. We have some hard questions and some easy ones. Let's see. Who can find it? Again, how many national parks do we have and their names? Sorry, Denise, it is not correct.
Not state, national.
National parks, yes. That's the key. Cheryl Campbell,
Yeah.
you are
2.
correct.
Yeah.
At 2, you are correct. But Sabine, do we give away 2 or do we want the names?
No, that's okay. It seems like to be a difficult question.
Correct.
I will answer that. So the first one at the north is the Everglades National Park, and the second one is the excursion from Key West, which is Fort Jefferson, the Dry Tortugas.
Correct. There it is. So congratulations, Cheryl Campbell. Christelle, you were close. You said 3, but it was, again, national park.
Yeah.
So sorry
Actually,
about that. But
Biscayne National Park is part of Miami, not the Keys. So the Dry
correct.
Tortugas. So you were very close. That's okay. We have a couple of more prizes.
We have more prizes. Don't worry.
And very easy questions too.
Yes. The ones coming up, don't you worry. Just be ready. Okay. And sorry, that second prize pack, I would say the second prize pack includes stays at Everglades Flamingo Lodge. This includes a scenic boat tour and a stay at DoubleTree Grand Key Resort in Key West. So that's a 4-night in total. No worries, Cheryl. There's still 2 more questions, but all good.
Actually, this
okay.
Yeah, it's 3 nights. 3 nights total. 1 night was the boat tour and 2 nights.
Thank you.
Right.
Okay, perfect. So then the next question, number 3. For this one, this includes a stay at Three Waters Islamorada, which includes a $250 dining credit. That's a lot of Key West pink shrimp. And a stay at Blue Flamingo Key West. This is an exciting prize pack. So the question, this one for prize number 3, what are the names of the 5 main districts of the Florida Keys? You have to write them out. I'm letting you know there's 5, okay? All right, let's see. 5 districts of the Florida Keys. Key Largo, Armada, Marathon, Lower Keys.
Yep, that's
Okay.
it. That's it.
Denise?
Yeah,
Denise
Dennis.
Cassidy?
Yeah, actually, yeah, I can't see it went up, so I can't see what came up first.
Oh, hold
Go
on.
back.
Denise? Key Largo, Islamorada, Marathon, Lower Keys, Big Bite. Sorry, you forgot one, Denise.
You've got Jason.
Jason got it. Jason is the next one. Sorry, Denise,
But I
you
see
missed.
Cheryl might got it too. I can't see that far up.
No, Cheryl was saying something else about a lost connection.
Oh, okay.
The first one, Paige, correct, confirm on this on me. Denise was the first one, but she's missing Key West. And then there was Jason. Jason got the correct one. So, Jason, you have won that prize pack. Congratulations. The stay at Three Waters Islamorada, including a $250 dining credit, and Blue Flamingo Key West. So exciting. Okay, thank you for that. Okay, thank you, everyone. That's okay, Christelle. Don't worry, there's still another prize, and we're going to keep in touch, so don't you worry. Okay. Now, here we go. Hold on, just confirming. Hold on, Denise. I'm looking at your comment here, Denise, but it didn't have... I don't see Key West. Am I missing it? Key West. I see Lower Keys, Big Pine Key. That's it. It doesn't have Key West. That's the 5th one. Lower Keys and Big Pine Key, that's technically all one. So hope that clarifies that. No worries, Denise. We still have one more, okay? Okay, everyone. This is it. Now, for this prize, this is an exciting stay, one of my favorites. You get a swag bag of goodies from the Florida Keys. And it's a big swag bag. It's like a beach bag, let's put it that way, branded, and a stay at Hawks Cay Resort, which some consider to be one of the top properties because they have private pools, they have an adult pool, they have a kids pool, they have kids section for families, they have a number of great restaurants, they have the dolphin excursion experience there. We could educate. Correct. There's a lot of good things there.
The picture was actually in the presentation under marathon. You could see it there.
Correct. That was the oval one, I believe. So, yes, that was exciting. So that's a great place to stay. Now, for this one, this is the last grand prize. For this one, the question
It's very easy, so get ready to write.
Get ready to write. What is the famous signature dessert of the Florida Keys? Let's see. Scramble, scramble, scramble.
Yes! That's it. Oh my God, everybody's got it.
Now, I just want to make sure we didn't have any repeat winners, right? Everyone was unique, I believe, so that's great. Denise Cassidy, you made it. Congratulations. But no, hold on.
It's Cheryl.
I'm sorry. It's Cheryl. I'm sorry. It's Cheryl. Cheryl had it first. Sorry, the load time for me came up. It pushed it down. But here we go. Cheryl, 10:45:59. But she was tied with Christelle. Can you believe it? They both did it at the exact same time. So unless you know what, we'll talk to Sabine. We can get another swag bag. We could see if another hotel comes up.
We can get a swag bag, and I'll see what I can do.
Correct, and we'll see if we can do it if we get another hotel partner. Because you were,
right.
I took a screenshot. You were at the same time. Can you believe it?
It's incredible. What are the odds of that?
Incroyable, as they say. Oh my gosh, this is exciting. So yes, we're gonna make a note of this, and don't worry, we're gonna keep in touch. And so the best thing is, Paige, are we gonna get all the winners' emails, and we're gonna be able to reach out, or how are we gonna handle this?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay,
yes, and
perfect.
we're also going to need, because some gift certificate will be digital, but some others, they will have to be mailed because they want the actually hard copy. So we need to make sure that we also get and same thing for the swag bags, that they probably will be FedExed. So we will need the actual mailing address of where they would like to receive them.
Yes, perfect. We will get that. We'll get that together. And
Perfect.
Thank you, everyone. This was exciting. Thank you. We hope you all had fun. And
so much
congratulations to all the winners.
us.
Yes.
Amazing. That was very exciting. Thank you so much to Sabine and Jerry for this presentation. I feel like I need to go book my vacation now.
Yes.
Okay, so as the webcast ends, you'll be redirected to the Florida Keys and Key West website where you can learn more. We'll be sending the recording link from today's webcast to each of you in the next few days, and it will be uploaded to the Baxter Media's YouTube channel where you can also find all of our past webcast recordings. So the link pinned at the top of the chat will take you to the website where you can sign up for more upcoming webcasts. You can also follow Baxter Media on LinkedIn to hear more about upcoming webcasts. And our next webcast is coming up September 30th with Diana Rosales from Hacienda Del Mar Los Cabos, who will tell you more about their latest resort updates and programming. So with that, why don't we wrap things up? Thank you again to Sabine and Jerry, and thank you so much to everyone for joining in today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much,
everyone.
Paige, and thank you, everybody. That was wonderful, and can't wait to do it again. If you have any question, don't hesitate to reach out.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye. Au revoir.